All right, so JAC. JAC stands for Jeskai Ascendancy and then Combo. We're trying a couple different things that are new in the list today, so not confident that these changes are good, but we're going to play through a league and try them and see what we think about them. The first is that I've added a Paradise Druid. I've cut the Noble Hierarchs, which is a good budget change for some people. I know people have always asked to change that, but we have one Paradise Druid here as a 9th mana Dark Surround, 4 Caryatids, 1 Druid, 4 birds. I've added a basic Plains as a 17th land. I've frequently wanted a second basic against Path, Exile, and Field of Rune deck, so I think the basic Plains helps with that. Another new thing we're trying is we have 2 copies of Echo of the Eons here. Each player shuffles their hand and graveyard back into their library and then draws 7 cards. This is a card that when we flood out a little bit and get run out of resources by like a discard deck or someone who's incredibly interactive, this can gas us back up, which feels reasonable. Also, when we're just comboing, it can draw us back up to 7 by flashing it back after we loot it away from Ascendancy or a Faithless Looting. The other thing we're trying, and this is something I'm pretty confident is going to be good. In the sideboard here, you got 4 copies of Veil of Summer, which stops counter spells and, more importantly, stops discard spells and things like Assassin's Trophy and Abrupt Decay from killing our Jeskai Ascendancy. I think that's all the new ones. Yeah, that's all the new ones. Yeah, Plains over Forest because I want all of my lands to cast Jeskai Ascendancy. I know Forest casting a Mana Dork is appealing, but I've played Basic Forest in this deck before, and every time you draw Basic Forest, you just hate yourself. So I'm hoping Basic Plains has less of that effect. This hand, double Gemstone Mine's like a little bit risky, but I've got an Ascendancy, so we just need a mana creature. Watery Grave, Stitcher Supplier. Interesting. So we got a Hagak Brew probably. Alright, we found a land that doesn't get used up on the first hit here, so let's fetch with this. Grab the old breeding pool. Cast my visions, looking for a Sylvan Caryatid. Sweet. Well, since I found this, I think I go bottoms up here on these because I'm looking for a 1 mana spell to kind of get started. So my turn 2 will be casting Sylvan Caryatid. And then my turn 3 will hopefully be play Ascendancy combo kill. So we'll see. They ditched a Bloodghast here. Caryatid blocks that very elegantly. One of the things notably I didn't mention during the intro is that to fit the new cards I'm trying into this deck, I've cut the Summoner's Pack package, which the Summoner's Pack package is a little bit awkward against the fair decks anyways, because the Summoner's Pack package means when you brick off mid-combo, you frequently, die the following turn. That's not ideal to have happen against the fair decks. A green mana, okay. I have a Satyr Wayfinder. Yep, yeah, Satyr Wayfinder has been a card that a lot of these decks have been playing. It is a creature to trigger Vengevine, and it is a green creature that allows you to convoke out Hagak. Getting attack for 1 here. Hedron Crab is something they've also been trying, Burgle. So Crab and Satyr Wayfinder are things people have been trying. Trying to figure out what's the optimal way to build the Hagak deck in a post-bridge, post-altar world. Jake on the kebab, thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. Welcome, welcome. Now, Crab notably doesn't convoke meaningfully for the green or black mana that Hagak requires, but it does help accelerate them into flipping their deck into their graveyard, and it does trigger Vengevine, so it does some of the stuff they're looking to do. Sorry, the losing bridge effectively means we've lost altar, because the stock in altar was largely based around the bridge. Yeah, Serum Visions is a great draw. Serum Visions means that there is a reasonable possibility that we combo kill them next turn. Especially because they're just kind of fumbling around here. So we need a second one mana or free spell. So that way we can ditch this Fatestitcher to the Serum Visions loot and then get it into play and then get going that way. It smells like a Hagak is coming into play here. Yep. That is unfortunate. So we get 2 shots, 2 opportunities to hit what we are looking for here. So for people who have never seen this deck before, the way this works is we kind of loot through our deck. Alright, we hit. So we go bottom, the second Echo, top, the Serum Visions. So we get to bring this Fatestitcher out here. And then Fatestitcher is going to untap this. And then we'll make a green, and we'll cast this. Doesn't really matter where we put it. We are not guaranteed to win, but we are probabilistically going to win from here. So basically every spell we cast from this point nets us mana. Every 1 mana spell nets us mana, and things like Manamorphose net us mana, and we keep casting spells through our deck, drawing and discarding, and eventually our creatures get really, really big, and then our Fatestitcher will tap down their blocker and then attack them for at least 15. Yeah, the game's not really going to last another turn, though, so it effectively just doesn't matter, Scissor. Yep, yeah, and then Echo of Eons in the bin to make sure we don't run out of gas in case we run into danger of bricking off. Exactly. So, post-board in these matchups, a lot of the time I think you want to trim at least some of your graveyard stuff just because the opponents often board in graveyard hate against us, which we can win completely without graveyard hate. Which is nice. So I think I'm going to trim a Faithless Looting and trim an Echo here. And bring in a Trophy and a Path to Exile. Maybe I'm going to leave the Echo and I'm just going to trim Faithless Looting for Path. I feel like we're just on the beep beep race them plan here. I don't know that Silence is good enough. How do you feel about Silence versus Engineered Explosives? An early Silence to just time walk them might be okay. An early Silence just to time walk them might be okay. I'm gonna bring that in over the Engineered Explosives, I think. I didn't update the Stream Decker, thank you. This is a build I wanted to try. This was someone said play your preferred updates to JAC, and this is what I put together. This seems super reasonable if this made green mana. Unfortunately, it does not, so I need to take a mulligan. Hand is also bad. Hand is not great, but in the range of keepable. I'm going to go ahead and bottom a Gemstone Mine and a Steam Vents. Yeah, I think so. I did, Erdian. That was really good. So one of the things that's really awkward about the way music copyright and stuff like that works on the internet is that even if you've released that in a way that's royalty free, right? And you said you've given me permission to use it. There's a non-zero chance, actually a very good chance, that even though you've given me explicit permission to use it, I could run into copyright claims putting that music into my videos on YouTube and Twitch, even though I have permission to use it. The London Mulligan was good for every deck that has a proactive plan. So we might just be too slow here. Their turn 2 is going to be milling over a lot of stuff here. If they have a second 1-mana creature to floop this Vengevine into play, we're probably going to be dead before we can get going. Because I am currently looking to kill on turn 3, which is likely, or turn 4, which is going to be too slow, I think. If they hit a second Vengevine. Alright, if they don't have a 1-mana creature here, we're probably going to be okay. If they do have a 1-mana creature, I'm going to concede. We're just dead to 2 Vengevines attacking this turn. Is there an argument you should hold up silence on one? Nope. Welcome to Modern, enjoy your stay. My opponent conceded on turn 3, game 1. I'm going to concede on turn 2 this game. We'll take the next game on the play. Yeah, exactly. We're not gonna have the issue today that we had yesterday in Pauper, where we played 4 games in an hour and 40 minutes, and then 2-0 dropped the league, having never lost a game. So this hand has what I refer to as a slow ascendancy in it. We've got Glittering Wish here. Double Echo in the opener kind of sucks, but this hand's definitely a keepable. Like if I get rid of one or both of these, the hand leg looks plenty reasonable. Yeah. I mean, I actually liked the games of the Pauper deck too. The problem is that, like, this is my business, right? So like, maybe that's what we end up doing. Like, if we play Pauper, maybe I just have to make it expensive, like Legacy. If the matches are going to take longer, that could be a very real possibility. That's part of the reason Legacy is more expensive, is to offset the time and the level of popularity that the format has. Alright, so I'm not really looking for another mana dork at this point, I don't think. I think I'm going bottoms up. Sure, and if that's in a format where that's a real strategy, just doesn't make for good content card breaker. Would be my point. So like, I understand that that's a strategy, but like, if that's a legitimate strategy, it just doesn't make for good content, and it's not from a profit perspective and from my deck queue not taking ages to get through perspective. It isn't reasonable for me to do a format that does that as content. Yeah, double Echo being super awkward here. All right, there's a Glittering Wish. Now, I could silence here to play around like a discard spell, but like, I kind of need the silence to start comboing next turn, so I think I hold on to it for now. Alright, they just Vengevine, so do they have land 1-drop? They certainly have a land, right? Yeah, they got Steam Vents off of here. Now, do they have a 1-drop that Steam Vents casts is another question. Working Hedron Crab into their mana base definitely makes it a little more awkward. They have a Crypt Breaker in their deck. That's interesting. Oh, you know what? Maybe I was supposed to silence them to keep Hogok off the table. I could see that. Because this triggers Vengevine too. Yeah, now I like have to kill them next turn, and I'm pretty unlikely to kill them from my hand. Yeah, I think I should have silenced them there. I think that was a mistake. That was a mistake. They had Vengevine too. So I'm currently choked on cards and mana, so we're really looking for a Fatestitcher. Alright, cards that draw cards for 1 mana are at least free roll redraws, so I'm not playing the Flooded Strand out just yet, even though I have a land drop, because there is a non-zero chance that I run out of... So... They have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 damage in play. Do I just pass and then silence them on their upkeep? It means if they have a trophy or a nature's claim, they get to kill my Ascendancy. But if they don't have those things, I get to untap an Echo. And like, I'm not dead on board, right? 12, 13, 14, 15. Yeah, but like, it turns off the fetches, but if I'm getting another turn, I'm getting to untap my 3 lands, which seems fine. Land and Bloodghast could win for them as well. That's not true. I'm at 16. Bloodghast doesn't have haste, and there's no Bloodghast in their bin. Yeah, I'm gonna pass. And I'm gonna upkeep Silence. So the problem isn't being able to record a macro or a loop. The problem is giving the opponent the ability to respond reasonably inside of that loop. So they could have a number of cards here that make this go sideways for us, but I think this is my best possible chance to win. Yeah, we would have bricked off if we'd have done it on our turn. So I would have run out of stuff, and I likely would have been super dead this turn. So this guarantees that I'm not being attacked for lethal. If they have something like a well, if I block, I can't combo them next turn, Card Breaker. So blocking is not ideal. So I'm hoping their hand is 0 interaction. They're just passing back to me. We're hoping Silence was just actual factual time walk. Oh, I could block Satyr. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if I blocked Satyr, I'd have 1 more mana. Yeah, that's a good call. Because I'd have been able to fetch. Yeah, it's a good catch. There's a Fatestitcher. I think we might be doing it. So I have, because like the Fatestitcher means we're gonna have enough mana. And the echoes in the bin means that we're not gonna brick on cards here. Almost certainly. Not guaranteed not gonna brick, but very unlikely to brick, right? And we're gonna draw 2 here. Apparently Moto's taking a nap. At any rate, that was a nice showing for Silence. Even if I had misused it by a turn. Yeah, this deck, generally speaking, is good against other decks that are not interacting with it and just racing. Between Silence giving you some free time walks, or 1-mana time walks, like we saw there, to just like the average goldfish kill of this deck. That you probably should silence or veil them before you time twister, just in case you give them a trophy or something similar with it. Maybe. I mean, like, that's why I didn't pull it off right away. But like, as a Hail Mary play, it's obviously fine to make the play. Did I get a new office? Nope. Unless it's been like 8 months since you've watched Timido. I moved in January. That seems great. Although I am going to be getting a new office soon. My father's coming down to build out my new office space next month. I'll have an actual soundproof room. Cut down on there's a very tiny reverb in this room still, even with the sound panels. I won't be able to hear the kids and stuff while I work then. The good one, guacamole tacos. And as always, you can find deck queue stuff listed. Decks listed in the deck queue on the website. Something I will probably talk about it a few points today. Hasbro had their Q2 earnings call for the year, and apparently Magic just killed it. Which is unsurprising. Oh no, they're gonna Thoughtseize my Sylvan Caryatid. Don't do that, I love my Sylvan Caryatid. Just a Faithless Looting, Fist Pump. Fist Pump, Brouhaha. So we're hoping to draw a land in our next 2 draw steps. That way we can go Ascendancy into Cerulean Wisps on 3. Another Vengevine deck. Sign me up. Perfect. Land is exactly what we want. There's a chance we kill them on 3 here now. Especially with the Fatestitcher in our hand. So we'll go Ascendancy into Wisps, Fatestitcher, Glittering Wish. And then get the train rolling from there. So, like, the Jund and, like, Mardu Pyromancer matchups tend to be hard for this archetype in my experience, but I would really like to play them in this league. So that way we can... what's it called? So that way we can try out Veil of Summer. It seems really good against it. So you'll notice I floated a mana here, and the reason for that is Cerulean Wisps untaps my creature as well. So Cerulean Wisps is one of those cards that like makes mana, basically. So it costs us 1, but Ascendancy untaps it. Yeah, I'd be pretty surprised if less than 4 Veil of Summer is right in the sideboard. Card seems like everything we want to be doing in our hard matchups. It's more anti-counterspell stuff for the blue-white control matchup as well. We have a Lightning Axe for the Fatestitcher. Now, Lightning Axe for the Fatestitcher is a big deal. And I don't have any instants to respond to with it here, unfortunately. So that does mean that I'm possibly gonna be choked on mana here. Yeah, definitely, Nivik. This deck's sweet. So we're kind of just looking for another Fatestitcher at this point. I'm actually ditching a Glittering Wish for now because I can't currently generate enough mana to cast 2 of them, or even really 1 of them, much less 2. I basically just want to keep every one mana card that draws a card, basically. Let's float white here, so I have 1 floating for the Glittering Wish potentially. We fetching a tap land so we can auto pass? Yeah, we are. Hey, Padtron, thanks for the 5 months support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Manamorphose here is another one of the cards in our deck that basically nets us a mana. So it's a card that takes 2 mana in, but then untaps our creature and also outputs 2 mana. So this Manamorphose will kick us from having 2 mana here to having 3 effectively. And then there's an Echo of the Eons, and I have 3 mana here, technically speaking. So if we potentially brick off, that can give us a reset button, basically. Faithless Looting's not a terrible draw. I've got some extra bad ones here. I think I would much rather Sleight of Hand first. Faithless Looting might be something we end up looting away. Again, looking for Fatestitcher at this point. When you're comboing with this deck, you always... Oh, that was the wrong one to discard. You always want to be working to identify what your current bottleneck is. You're either bottlenecked on cards or you're bottlenecked on mana. In this game, we're definitely bottlenecked on mana. So we're looking for a way to start generating additional sources of mana. So there's Ascendancy. So that's a Paradise Druid. So now I have to decide, do I want to Echo or do I want to Glittering Wish? So if I Glittering Wish, I can Scarscale Ritual, but then I'm basically out of mana. The flip side here is my opponent's like nowhere near killing me next turn. I think I'm supposed to Glittering Wish here. Hey, Jeff, thanks for the great content. Here's to another 6 months. Thanks for the half a year, Ninja Mouse. Hope your Tuesday is finding you well wherever you are. One of the sweet things about having Echo in this deck, too, is it means that in the event that we end up bricking off here, we can use Echo to kind of reset our deck, so to speak, which is neat. Did I have the wrong one exported? Oh, weird. Yeah. Yeah, that's the... Oh, I did it from the wrong folder. That's why. Alright, Stream Decker is now correct. At least we're 0% to brick next turn. Well, that's certainly not true. Listen, as someone who's played this archetype a lot, you're always in danger of not having it, basically. Thinning this land out is super meaningful. Spin to win. Do I even loot here? Yeah, I should because I could hit instants, right? So it's all about to shuffle back in anyways, but if I hit instants, yeah. So like this opt is just free mana, right? Because it casts 1 and makes 4. So I can keep casting instants here. And anything that's not an instant obviously is gonna just get shuffled back in. But might as well cast the instants in response that I draw. Hey, Pizza, thank you for the very generous tier 3 resub. I will get you a sword here after we are done clicking. It's gonna be a lot of there's a lot of clicking going on at the moment. Unfortunately, cannot cast that Fatestitcher. Alright, so now Echo of the Eons resolves. And then... So we probably have enough mana that I can stop floating mana at this point. Alright, so they've died. We go and fetch, and then we can attack for 3 here. Punch them in the face with the burb. This is my burb. It is amazing. I'm really glad I locked in Neobrand for the open. That's a pretty smart idea. Alright, and once again, I think we're just gonna, like, bring in copies of Silence for Explosives and Faithless Looting. I brought in a Path last time. I think I'd actually rather have Silence than Path. I'm gonna bring in the Path on the draw. Yeah, Echo stopped us from breaking off, right? I'll be right back. I have to go be a husband for a moment. This hand is very good. You could have kept, chat. You didn't have to wait for me. Apparently my garage door is very messed up. I have someone out to look at it. Opponent mulligan to 6. Hey, awesome number. I'm glad you're enjoying it. It is a lot of fun. It's definitely my favorite aggro deck consider right now. So we're not going to be able to turn to them because I actually don't have any zeros in my deck. So this build gives up Summoner's Pact for the configuration I'm playing right now. So you have a lot less zeros in it. And I boarded out my Engineered Explosives. So here's hoping we don't die on their turn 3, but we're not going to be able to kill before turn 3 here, which might be wrong. It might be wrong to not have Summoner's Pacts here. So rating attack for 4 here. Hey, Lord. Thanks for the quarter of your support. I appreciate that. More folks who enjoy the Aristocrats. Glad to hear it. They could Hogok this turn by not attacking, right? But even if they do that, I'm still not dead on the attack next turn. Oh, Hogok's only 5. Yikes, why did I think it was less than that? God, this card's so dumb. He says as he sets up to kill his opponent on turn 3. 12, 30, 40, 15. All right, well, I mean, not dead on board. If they have a trophy or a lightning axe, we're probably dead. But if they can't interact with these cards and they can't put another haste creature out, we might kill them next turn. This could hit a Vengevine. It hit a Vengevine. This format's so dumb. Modern. So do they have a 1-mana creature? If they have a 1-mana creature, we are dead. Oh, just a Thoughtseize. Just a Thoughtseize. Sing a song that you're singing, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, say ooh. Do 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 do. We might have another Echo of the Eons save us game. The take here is Wisps or Sleight of Hand. They both have different upsides. Wisps gives us an extra mana. Sleight of Hand sees extra cards. I don't know. If I have to Echo, mana is going to be my bottleneck. So, like, Wisps is, like, meaningful from that perspective. Are we gonna have 2 wins from 1 in a row? That would be great. Ooh, Manamorphose. Ooh, Manamorphose. We got an Opt. There's a Fatestitcher. Fatestitcher probably means we're not gonna brick off. Yeah, with the, and like, these are the points where this type of point in these games, you frequently start to worry about running out of gas, but with the Echo in my bin, that's just like not a possibility, basically. Like running out of gas is not going to happen here. Honestly, we might not even need the Echo with the double Morphos and Second Ascendancy. So, Glittering Wish is another card that makes it basically impossible to brick 2. I mean, it was only fair, chat, right? Like, if they didn't want to die on turn 3, they shouldn't have given me a turn 3, right? Waiting for the opponent to gut shot you? Should you talk like that? And it's looking like this is going to be another game where we had Echo as a safety net and then just didn't need it, right? This is the way we make the mana, make the mana, make the mana. This is the way we make the mana early in the morning. They're dead, right? This is 16, 19. Your health total is a resource, 1 is not none. Hey, Velion, thank you for the brand new Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. Welcome, welcome. We're having a wonderful Tuesday. 2-0 here with pretty quick 2-0 too, even with my short step out to help my wife. Beating up a couple other combo decks. If you don't end the game at 1, you didn't use all your resources effectively. Not as effectively as you could have, at least, right? So, I'm basically never mulliganing 2 lands Caryatid Ascendancy. But, like, the rest of this hand is not stellar. And, like, it just needs, like, any 1 or 2 mana instant or sorcery to, like, really get going, but the hand definitely leaves a bit to be desired past double land Caryatid Ascendancy, which is one of the reasons why. So this build also is playing extra copies of Fatestitcher, which is a card that I've only played 2 of historically. Fatestitcher is like one of the best cards you could draw while you're comboing, but it really sucks to have in your opening hand like this. Although that gives me a free discard, right? Oh, was I supposed to discard the Echo? Yeah, I'm probably supposed to discard the Echo. Now, fingers crossed we don't get Eidolon here. If we get Eidolon, we're probably dead. If we don't get Eidolon, we can likely race them. 3rd Fatestitcher. Yikes. Tilt. So, we're not guaranteed dead, but we are likely dead. We can technically combo and get our stuff going through this next turn, but it's unlikely. Like we can Glittering Wish for an answer. Burn is the worst matchup for this deck. And it is not particularly close. You can kill it with Tear as well. So the problem here is I'm going to 7, I'm going to 5. So I have to, like, draw Glittering Wish as my first card next turn, basically. And that's pretty unlikely to happen. If they have any other spell, yeah, we're just dead here. Burn's a bad matchup because of explicitly Eidolon. Generally speaking, we can race them, but Eidolon just does too much too quickly to us. Morning, Pelly. It's going swell. This is not an Echo of the Eons matchup. I think I leave in the explosives because they do kill. They do kill what's its name. Bring in 4 more ways to kill it. Trim a Fatestitcher. Let's try that. I'm leaving Wear Tear in the sideboard because Eidolon's an enchantment creature. Do I have a favorite basic land art? The basic island out of Time Spiral with the lightning bolt in the background looks superb in foil. And I have 4 or 5 of them around here somewhere in foil. This is This is kind of low resolution, but this one looks really good in foil. Yep, no, thank you, Renlock. Nope, all the decks still listed in the stream title are decks that we have yet to play, and we'll be playing them in the order they appear in the stream title unless someone cuts something in. This hand's actually really good. It's got, it's got a fast combo, potentially, and it's got 2 ways to interact with Eidolons and Goblin Guides. It's possible I'm supposed to fetch Shock on one here. Yep. Okay, I mean, like, that's the best draw in my deck. Not close. This is a matchup that definitely gets much worse cutting the Leyline of Sanctities from the sideboard. But I think your burn matchup's pretty bad even with Leyline, and I would bet that Veil of Autumn is better against Jund than Leyline is. I actually did not leave a land on top with the Visions. It was Veil of 10-minute timeout. Is that what you said? Weird. What an interesting card name. Veil of the 10-minute timeout. Maybe I should have left the land on top. I kind of want a 5th mana for next turn. Yeah, I kind of want a 5th mana for next turn. I think that was probably a mistake. I love that this is a No Justice stream. It's my favorite part of the stream. Justice is overrated. So what's the difference that you enjoy about this deck, whereas you don't like the Pauper Flicker deck? The frequency through the duration of the games is very different. And like maybe what we played yesterday was an outlier. I don't have enough data to know, but like having played this deck a bunch, like I can't think of a time where I've ever played 4 games in an hour and 40 minutes. My issue, I didn't take issue with the play patterns of the Pauper deck yesterday. I took issue with the amount of time it took to execute the game. So, in my previous configurations, I would board out Wish against Bird Nivik, but without Leyline of Sanctity in my sideboard, I don't have enough cards to board in to make that be my game plan still. So, when I have a lot of cards to board in, I do think Wish is slow. But like when I have enough cards to board in, it makes sense to cut it because it's slow. But without having enough cards to board in, it gets awkward. Alright, so I think I trophy this crypt. So that way I can get Fatestitcher going here. And I don't want to ditch the Fatestitcher just yet. We are in danger of running out of cards here, though. Yep. Yikes. So do I even go for the Fatestitcher at this point, or do I just explosives? I think I'm supposed to just go for it. So I boarded my Echoes out because giving the burn deck 7 cards doesn't seem like something that I'm interested in doing. That is unfortunately not an instant. And we've basically run out of gas at this point, right? If I'd have hit an Opt or a Cerulean Wisps here, we'd have been able to save this. I guess the good news is I get to cast Ascendancy Explosives and kill both their creatures. So I've got that going for me. Okay. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand. We'll make it, I swear. Oh, dee 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 dee. We're actually really close to just killing them with Fling here. And I'm declining looting here because I have a finite number of cards in my deck. It's another Ascendancy. All right. And we bricked. Oh, geez. And I don't have enough mana to pop this anymore, and it can't block. Yikes. Yikes. Am I dead? I might be dead. I probably should have just blown up the Engineered Explosives instead of playing the other Ascendancy. We're pretty likely to finish comboing after playing the other Ascendancy. Probably should have just blown this up. We could die here with their 2 cards in hand. Did your idol on? Nope, just Rift Bolt. All right. Yeah, you're not missing anything, Foxicon, but having a second Ascendancy in play is much better should I brick off, which we did. So, like, now, with 2 Ascendancies in play, I'm far less likely to brick off. Turn 5, why are we playing such a grindy deck? Asking the real questions. Alright, so I'm gonna stop needlessly looting because without Echo in my deck, decking's a very real possibility here. Now that being said, with Dub's yeah, the flesh blood is lethal. That's what I was counting. I should articulate that. So this is gonna crank my squad up even more. Should we hedge for Helix? I don't think so. I mean, we can if we hit enough stuff. If they had Helix, I think they would have killed Fatestitcher in response. Moto numbers tiny, interface non-existent, or overlay non-existent. I would like to diddle your Sacred Foundry. I would like to diddle your Arid Mesa. Rats, we're gonna be short on killing them with just flesh blood. So this is gonna put this up to a 14. Well, that's fine. That's fine. We're gonna get to attack for 14 as well. So this deck, in a lot of situations, you could actually win just completely without combat by getting it big enough. This game, we're a little bit strapped on resources. I don't think this deck is strictly easier or harder in paper versus online. I think there's trade-offs in both situations. I think there's things Magic Online tracks automatically for you that are less tedious than in paper, but in paper, I think there's also things that you can shortcut in a meaningful way that you can't shortcut in a meaningful way on Magic Online. Like, I've only ever played this in one paper tournament, but I played all 7 rounds, and there were a number of times where I just, like, flipped my hand face up on the table, and I was deterministic, and was like, I'm just gonna cast these 3 spells, or these X number of spells, I'm gonna loot a couple of times, then I'm gonna cast this Flesh Blood, and you're gonna die. And I don't have to, like, mechanically go through tapping and untapping and stuff like that. You have to manually keep track of, like, what's going on where, but there's definitely trade-offs. Statement of fact, okay? Yikes. If this could cast these birds, we might think about keeping it, but even then, it's not amazing. go ahead and take a redo here. The Third Degree. Thank you for the 3 months of support. I appreciate it. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Welcome to Magic. Enjoy your stay. I'm just going to go ahead and concede here and move along to the next one. This matchup's pretty tough, and you need a pretty ideal start. Their average draw dumpsters is almost every time, so I'm not going to keep a bad 5 that deals a bunch of damage to myself and doesn't have any combo pieces here. Let's get to the next match or two and see if we can finish out strong. So while giving cards to burn doesn't feel great, Eons is basically an I win button when you cast it. That's just not true, Slow. That is just completely untrue. The burn deck frequently has cards like Destructive Revelry post board, and like take that last game for instance, like they had 2 mana up. If I cast Eons there, I just give them a bunch of mana with which to kill me, with which to kill my thing, and possibly kill me. Especially, there's frequently going to be times where the burn player's blown their load, and I'm at a low health total, and casting Eon just gives them 2 1-mana deal 3s to me, and I die. So I completely and fundamentally disagree with your suggestion that giving cards to burn is a good idea, and it's something that you can reasonably do. This hand just needs some lands. Pretty reasonable otherwise. Yikes. Now the problem here is because Gemstone Mine's our first land, if we break off on lands, it's going to be a real bad time. I really kind of need to draw a land next turn, so that way I can go Caryatid into Ascendancy without losing my land. Yeah, it looks like humans. Alright, Abundant Growth is actually an incredible... So we're missing our land drop this turn, but Abundant Growth is actually a good draw if we don't get Valiant next turn, because it lets me Abundant Growth the Gemstone Mine, and then that lets me keep it around. Hit Mythic for the first time with your Aristocrat decks. Thanks for the content and teaching me about the game. Thanks for being here. I appreciate the support. Thanks for the biddies. If we get Valiant here, we're probably just dead. Yes, E is very good in this matchup. This matchup is by no means unwinnable, but it's real bad when you mold a 5 and then don't find a second land. You can actually combo through a Thalia in a lot of situations if you have multiple mana dorks, which is sweet. Definitely want all of these. Explosives is good. I like to leave 1 trophy in the sideboard so I can Glittering Wish for it. I'm going to trim Looting. Now, this is probably a matchup where Echo of Eons is pretty reasonable. Outside of Aether Vial, the cards they draw don't really allow them to interact with us. And it's probably just trimming a couple copies of Opt here. Opt's kind of like the filler. Yeah, I'll trim 1 Fatestitcher along with an Opt. Let's do that. This head. I had someone respond to posted a YouTube comment last night that they were upset that I conceded a match to Nexus of Fate while I was kind of ahead in game 1, and I was just like, "Oh, buddy, you are not going to enjoy the content here if you're upset that we're conceding miserable matchups. You need to go somewhere. Listen, in case anybody's new, if you're looking for a try-hard stream where someone's going to eke every percentage point out of every miserable game of Magic possible, this is not the channel for you. We play Magic to have fun here. Jeff, in sequencing and Green-Black Elves, am I looking to play on curve or dump guys as fast as possible? Can you explain to me how those two things are different? It's like, you like, in my mind, those two things you just said sound the same. Like, how do those two things differ from each other in your mind, Sumo Goat? Can you give me an example? Hand just doesn't do anything. Remember, at the core, this deck is basically an A-B combo deck. Your A being a mana creature, your B being a Jeskai Ascendancy. This is a one-land Gemstone hand again, but at least has Birds of Paradise on one, which is nice. But that isn't a good example prototype, because that's still playing on curve. You're still, in your example there, you're still using all of your mana. And I'm actually just going to go ahead and cast the Caryatid here that we drew, instead of digging for a land that we might miss. I think if my opponent has a Teferi and they untapped with it, I probably should have attacked and killed the Teferi to begin with. And if I couldn't attack and kill the Teferi, then I didn't have a board state, so it didn't matter. So it sounds like the Elves player who let you instant speed Supreme Verdict them massively messed up. Or they were in a hopeless position and couldn't win anyway, so it didn't matter if they were getting instant speed Supreme Verdicted. Those are the choices. Either the instant speed didn't matter, or they messed up and deserved to get instant speed Verdicted. I still don't understand the question. Generally, I guess maybe this is the answer you're looking for. Generally speaking, you want to establish your mana before like randomly playing a Clan Caller out. Because like randomly playing Clan Caller out before you're ready to attacking doesn't really accomplish anything meaningful, right? I'm gonna get all my mana creatures into play here, I think. And if you haven't already, I'd highly recommend going back and watching all of my videos with Elves. Elves is one of those decks that like, there's dozens of leagues up at this point. You can see lots of different early game sequencing. Skipping around through those. They just take our worst cantrip. You know, we could get Meddling Mage here. If we get Meddling, in fact, maybe I should have Sleight of Handed to play around Meddling Mage. Because they could Meddling Mage and like take me off of both my slates now. Yeah, and like all things in Magic, why Magic's an interesting game, there aren't really hard and fast rules for like, always do this, never do this. There's situations where it's correct to do the thing people are going to tell you should never do and vice versa. So, this booter probably has to take this Engineered Explosives, or we're doing that this turn, right? They also, like, outside of these discard spells, haven't really played anything super meaningful. So, like, and their clock is... I've got a few turns here before we're dead. And I've got some potential chump blocks mixed in the middle. Just looking for an Ascendancy at this point. Or a Glittering Wish for Ascendancy. Yeah, not surprised. Not surprised to see Explosives eat it there. We're going to put Abundant Growth in the Gemstone Mine here because it lets the Gemstone Mine tap for additional mana. Alright, I mean, like... It's like theoretically a plan. I don't know if it's a good plan, but it's a plan at some point. Okie doke. Okie doke. I'm gonna make green blue with this. Lets us cast maximum cantrips that we could draw. Alright, you know. We play 7 Ascendancies, but sometimes you just don't have any of them. We can hard cast Echo next turn. So, like, the problem with that, though, is we're taking 5 here instead of combat, putting us to 11. The shock puts us to 9 to cast the thing. And then we're probably dead on the backswing the following turn after giving them 7 cards. Yeah, we cast Echo a couple of times in the first couple of matches. It was okay. Situation like this, it looks pretty bad, right? Like, it's much worse than just like a 1 mana cantrip if I draw an Ascendancy. So, yeah. So I think the plan here is Glittering Wish for Ascendancy, Chump Block a Mantis Rider, and then next turn we cast Ascendancy, and then we draw a 1/1 or 2 mana spell that we can get the Echo into the bin and then Echo and get going from there. Yeah, I think the plan is like Chump Block a Mantis Rider, go to 3. And then we hope to draw something to loot the Echo and then Echo next turn. Yeah, but you could argue Pact is better than, like, Pact would have been a freebie here, right? Pact, like, if this had been a Summoner's Pact, for instance, we'd have cast Ascendancy, cast Pact, looted past this, and then if we loot into a spell, we can, like, get going from there, especially with Verdant Eidolon. No, I think Boarding in Veil is pretty narrow here. I think there's protecting from just Kite Sail Freebooter is not enough. And, like, we're low probability to win from the Pact from there, but we would have had a shot. Those are the types of things you want to be thinking about, right? When you're like, well, what did this card replace? Like, what would the card that it replaced be doing in this situation, etc. Like, Kessig Malcolm Tense and we're dead. Reflector Mage also pretty bad. I think Reflector Mage is deterministically dead. Because now I chump block the Mantis Rider. I guess I could draw exactly Abundant Growth. The problem with losing the Birds of Paradise here is both of these are planes, basically. So when I cast this Ascendancy, I'm only going to have white mana left over. And we're dead to Phantasmal Image or another Reflector Mage here. But we're probabilistically still dead next turn. Need to draw exactly our second Abundant Growth. I guess Engineered Explosives gets us going too. Does it? No, Explosives, I'm not going to have enough mana to do this either, right? Oh, they just drew Mantis Rider? Yeah, good games. GG! Couple of rough mulligans. We had a rough mulligan in the first game, never found a land. Had another mulligan in this game, it just took us too long to find the Ascendancy and just took too much damage in the meantime. So, you should never come at me from a line of play with saying, Jeff, why didn't you predict the future, or should you predict the future and take this card? You should instead go back to the moment where we're making the decision and give me a argument for, with the information we have at that point, why it is probabilistically correct to make the play you are suggesting. So you should never look back on plays and go, oh, I made the wrong play with this future knowledge that I now have, because that's not how you're going to be become a good player. You need to go back and put yourself in your shoes at the time and think about, oh, I had choices here. Was it possible that I made the wrong choice with the information I had at the time? You need to always be thinking about information you have at the time and what decisions you can make with the information you currently have. Because trying to make decisions with information that you don't currently have is not going to make you better at the game. I think I bottomed the Echo here. Alright, sweet. We're going to get to try our Veil of Summers today. Excellent. That being said, bottoming Echo was terrible here now because Echo is one of our ways to recover cards against a deck that's going to grind us out. Like, this bird is very, very likely dead. You know, maybe I should have fetched the Flooded Strand just to shuffle Echo back into my deck. Yep. The Flavor Judge will be really upset with that Fatal Push, but it is what it is. I don't know. Is it? Instead of me telling you you're wrong, Prototype Session, form a cohesive argument. Think it through and logic it out. Tell me why your decision is good or bad. Don't just say, teacher, tell me I'm right or wrong. Say, teacher, this is why I think I'm right. Yeah, I agree, Slow. So another good example of like future information versus like information you have at hand, right? Like the Echo's just really not doing anything in the context of that hand. Is that a Torch of Defiance? It's interesting. Good sweep. This is a relatively quick clock for the opponent. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and Manamorphose. Actually, I don't need to Manamorphose here yet, right? Let's just do this. This is probably dead. Like they binned a bolt. They binned 2 ways to kill this last turn. So statistically speaking, the bird is not long for this world. I think we're echoing next turn. I'm kind of looking for a Sylvan Caryatid. Okay. Oh, we're halfway there. Oh, living on a prayer. Take my hand. We'll make it, I swear. Oh, living on a prayer. Living on a prayer. So, here's what I want to do. So I want to start by casting this Abundant Growth right away. And then in response to this untap trigger, I want to go ahead and target something else here. Watching you on YouTube and I realized that you're live. Well, welcome to a live one, Blitz. Monday to Friday, pretty much. Almost always here, real life size, Jeff. I already have an Echo in the bin, so we're just going to bottom that for now. Picked up another Fatestitcher here. Cast this. In response, start untapping stuff. And again, this is one of those, I feel like the safety net from the Echo has like kind of felt good, but at the same time, I'm not really certain if it's helping us win games that we're not already winning anyways. Because like, for instance, here, I kind of don't want to Echo, right? Because like, if I Echo, my opponent has so much mana available to them that there's a pretty good chance that we end up getting got, basically, right? Isha, thank you for the very generous tier 3 resub. I hope your week is finding you well. Thanks for keeping me around. Because like if I Echo here, there's like a non-zero chance that my opponent like draws ways to kill both these Fatestitchers and that I'm no longer comboing. That being said, we might be forced to Echo. Yeah, I'm out of gas, right? So like I'm hoping that we're gonna Echo and not just get punished for it. But there's a very real. Yeah, I guess maybe I have enough mana that I could tap their lands. Maybe that's right. You know what? I probably should have tapped their fetch land. Now they would have just fetched in response, right? Yeah, that doesn't make sense. Yeah, we're definitely like the Fatestitchers aren't dying to lightning bolts. That's for certain, right? Like if they're dying, it's like Fatal pushes, paths, and terminates. Well, they need 2 of them, right? If I keep even just 1 Fatestitcher here, we're probably okay. Aren't they just dead? No, I have 8. I have 14 power currently. Well, they appear to be auto-passing. So, you know, YOLO. Alright, well, we cast Wheel and our interactive opponent got nothing useful off of it. So that, like, as far as, like, best case scenarios are concerned, that's, like, pretty close to best case scenario. Pretty close to best case scenario. Alright, Veil's in. Faithless Looting out. I think we leave the Echoes in just to keep giving them a try and see how they feel here. Explosives out. And then Ops, usually my weak link. Trim the last cantrip. I think I'm happy with that. Don't want to keep EE for elemental tokens. No, I don't think so. Killing a couple of tokens I don't really want to be in life. I think I'd rather just be racing them. I don't really want to be killing their threats, I don't think. JAC is Jeskai Ascendancy combo. You know, it's funny. If you'd have told me the reason why I remove most people's ability, I would be removing most people's ability to comment on my YouTube channel would be people's desire to point out that I sound differently than they do when I talk. I'd have probably laughed at you, because like of all the vile, hateful things you find in YouTube comments, that's like pretty tame. But like, that's the thing I get the most comments on, that I'm just like, nah, you're not worth interacting with. You don't need to post on my channel anymore. It's wild to me that in the age of information where people see things all over people can see other people all over the world, that like people are not just like not used to the concept that people speak in a way that sounds different than them. It's not even about loud Pokemon nerd. It's people, a lot of people feel the need to get upset about the inflection points at which I speak with my words, for whatever reason. Like, I understand the concept of like, you sound different, and that's different to me. It's not what I'm used to, and it takes some getting used to. But like, you sound different is a very different perspective than, hey, I need you to fundamentally change something about yourself as a human being to appease me specifically. It's really weird entitled mindset in my mind. I'm just taking Serum Visions here. I'm gonna continue holding up this Veil of Summer. They brought in Fulminator Mage. Yep. Silly opponent, you activated my trap card. Bye, Felicia. Multi-format all-star Veil of Summer. Countering, hashtag countering Fulminator Mages since 2019. Bottom on that, top on Sylvan Caryatid for sure. I think I'm just casting Glittering Wish this turn. We are 2-2 currently. We lost to Burn, which is a really hard matchup, and then we had some rough beats against humans. Dr. Dre says, do. Sure, Stone Read Me Puppy. I guess, if they have another Fulminator here, they can technically keep me off of casting Ascendancy next turn, right? No, it's not even the way, it's not my directness. People literally, the thing I most frequently delete people's ability to comment on my YouTube channel for is just strictly the way my voice sounds. Generally speaking, we'll start Arena sometime between 11 a.m. and noon. If you're talking in chat, it means you're a subscriber, obviously. And if you are a subscriber, you should pop on into the subscriber Discord server, and I always tag people there when we switch formats. That's a good draw. It's a good draw. All right, so opponent is not deterministically dead, but I think we're pretty likely to win from here. We're a little bit bottlenecked on mana. That's an excellent draw. It's a most excellent draw. Yeah, hitting the Fatestitcher means that we're not bottlenecked on mana anymore. There's oh, you know, actually, let's actually, do I even want the second Ascendancy? Thanks, Sassy. Need to auto-tune. And like at the end of the day, like people who are gonna, and this is something if you're ever interested in making content, you need to understand. And I honestly think this is one of the reasons why I've been so successful as a content creator, is I've seen a lot of people who go out of their way to like bend and change to every suggestion other people make. And that, in general, is not a good way to make your content. The people are going to complain about how my voice sounds. If they weren't complaining about how my voice sounds, they'd find something else they dislike and complain about that. If you're someone who's making something that people like, you're probably also making something that a number of people don't like. And trying to please everyone is often going to end up with you pleasing no one. So at the end of the day, you should make content that you enjoy. And not worry about what the peanut gallery has to say. Yeah, exactly. It's better to have some people love you and some people hate you than have everyone be lukewarm about you. And like, don't get me wrong, I can hear my own voice. I know the way my voice sounds is different than how some other people talk, but that's okay. The world is full of diverse and interesting individuals. Not everybody needs to sound exactly the same. This is our last match in this league. And then we've got an Esper Mentor League before we roll on to some Magic Arena for the day. Oh no, Beetle! I got married Sunday, so now I have to explain why I have a budget line item listed as meme funding. God bless your meme funding. God bless the meme funding. I used to respond to people just like with a polite, hey, the world's gonna be a happier place for you when you realize that like not everybody looks and sounds like you. But believe it or not, a lot of the people that are so petty that they're commenting on how my voice sounds, they don't like listening to a respectful, reasonable point like that, and they just get hateful 9 times out of 10. So now I just like, whenever anybody mentions my voice, I just remove their ability to comment on my YouTube channel. It's like, yeah, so thoughts overall. If you went into this league and you told me the thing I'd be countering with a Veil of Summer was a Fulminator Mage, I'd have probably not believed you, but you know, here we are. I would be very surprised if this card is not very, very good in this archetype, and I'll probably be updating the list on my website to have 4 of these in it. It's art. Thanks for the 5 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. That being said, I'm not sure how I feel about the Eons and Faithless Looting. I feel like I'm going to need at least one more set or 2 with them to get a really good feel for it. We also never cast this Paradise Druid, but we also never really drew it, so like we wouldn't have drawn other things as well. We did draw basic planes at a couple points, so I basically replaced the 2 nobles with a basic planes and a Paradise Druid. And I'm not sure, I think I want a 17th land, but I'm not confident that planes is the right land. Like, I found myself wanting extra basics against blue-white control specifically, but like playing a basic for just that matchup might be narrow. I could see this being better as like a Horizon Canopy, or it could be good as the blue-green land that cycles too, but at any rate, if you're playing JAC and you want to be conservative, definitely put Veil of Summer in your sideboard. If you want to be a little bit spicy, I'd recommend trying these out. But if you want to be conservative, I definitely think the Summoner's Pack package is still very good. All right, let's roll along to our second Modern deck of the morning. Nine Ball! Thank you for the 14 months of support there. I appreciate it. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me around.